I got my water and I got my coffee. I got my glasses. I got my lip gloss. I don't know what it is. Excuse me. This thing. Ugh. Be a lot of stuff in here. Hey, y'all. So I figured we wouldn't go door knocking because I want to talk to y'all about something, even though they playing with our stuff. It's a few things I want to show y'all. Y'all probably already seen them, but I figured we share them here together. So we couldn't door knock for this one, and we might not even be able to do much over here for too long, but we just gonna see what goes on today. We just gonna see. Hey, you know what? Let's just put you up here because you keep getting knocked off of that little stool, honey. Hey, y'all. Hey. Are you all right? Hey. Hey. Hola. I had to eat and lay down and take me a nap, y'all. I ain't gonna be on here for a super long time, maybe an hour or so, because I did want to work on my puzzle that's been sitting on my floor forever. And some other projects that I need to do. But I figured I'd talk to y'all for a minute because I saw something. Hey. I figured I saw something. I figured I'd talk to you about something I saw and see what y'all feel about it. Hola. Hey. Hey, y'all. Our door knocking's been going pretty good. I see, though, that anything with the truth, that's when they start tripping with our lives. Over there at the door knocking place. Have y'all noticed that? Like, as long as we just talking about what everybody else is talking about, right, or similar things, we're fine. The moment we venture off and start talking about the real stuff we talk about, they immediately hit me with restrictions. Because you can see pictures of sculptures from Europe with whole man body parts out, right? Like, whatever. All kind of scenes of kids and whatnot with adults and whatnot. That's fine. There's no restrictions for that. They don't get that for nudity. But if you post a picture of a statue of something in Egypt, well, now that's a little risque. We don't want you doing that. Do y'all find that interesting or what? Because you can't tell me your whole life since a little kid, even in the cartoons, they showed pictures of the people in Rome naked and getting up and moving and all of this old mess. Right? Everybody's seen this the picture of the man with his arms up, with his head turned. That was in our cartoons. Right? As kids. And they would make them get up and move or whatever, but post a picture of an Egyptian or African with the nose on it. Yeah, no, that's too much. You can't do that. You've gone too far now. Okay? You've gone too far. That's how they feel about that. So anyway, I'm just going to go on and get into it. I know they ain't telling nobody we live, which is wild. Until 4 hours after we are. They're starting the BS. But I saw something on Tickety Talk that I figured I'd share over here because I know I can't repost it over there. So let's do it. And now you have, Jen. Had you been on TikTok or any other social media long? Can y'all go out and come back in and see? They gonna play. It's because we had such a good class these last few days. They don't want this information out. They cannot sell you all the movies and dreams if you don't. Ugh. It's back. YouTube, y'all starting to act like TikTok. Go out and come back in, y'all. They playing. I told y'all they was just messing with my phone. Right now, right when they was messing with my phone, y'all said this was froze. You think that has anything to do with it? And it's funny because the video I'm about to show y'all is very interesting. So anyway, you all have seen an uptick in people wanting older Bibles, older books. Not saying there wasn't a love for it before, but I just don't remember seeing a lot of that on social media prior to us starting what we have here. Right? I'm not saying it wasn't. It was hard to find me. Yeah. Because we've been tap dancing on some stuff. Right. Right. Give me a second, Jen. That's where I'm going. Okay. So, this is the thing, right? Who remembers when I started telling y'all the weird stuff that was happening to me and people was trying to make it like I was crazy? Something happened to South 90, right? There's a lot of creators that all of a sudden weird stuff start happening to them when they start sharing the very information that I have been sharing for years. When I told y'all something was going on with my car when I first got it, and then my whatever happened when I was on the highway, and all of these things, honey, coming in my house and things are moved around in my hallway, living here all that time. Now all of a sudden it's echoing when I'm in my hallway. Well, my hallway touches all my rooms. So that's a perfect place to, place certain things. Then I get the cameras, and every time after I go out of town, maintenance is in my house within 24 hours, sometimes the same day, as to why my cameras are not on now. Then we get the flock camera thing, and the man told her, lady, we watch you through your camera and all the cameras in the city. We know when you leave and when you get back. And now this man who was sharing the same information I would is gone. First and foremost, I want to say rest in peace. Really? I just heard the news a little while ago. It's crazy. And it just doesn't sit right with me, He had posted videos saying that he never intended to harm himself, that he was good in health. Those videos are no longer on his page. This happens. The things he was working on, the Bibles. Who remembers me telling y'all if something happened to me, the people did it? I wouldn't be surprised if after our first meet and greet, it was something going on with that. Because remember, I got very, very sick. I was sick for almost 2 months after we came back from our meet and greet. You cannot try to shake the world out of their slumber and think that the powers that be are not going to do something about that. That's not a thing. You said, yes, I follow him on Facebook, and in the Facebook group, in the messenger, he did reply he was gone. If he was gone, it's not his fault. I told y'all, hey, sister. That's why when folks used to be like, you need to go, I'm not going nowhere. No, and that's how I know this is a situation, and across the way is a situation too. I've been telling y'all. That was quick. He ain't even been doing it that long. Not as far as like super popular. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear nothing from South 90 no more. You don't hear nothing from a lot of, remember they had Bully Slayer. He was gone for a minute. Hey, sisters. He was gone for a minute. Remember, I think they had him in a mental institution for a minute. He was gone for over a year. Hello? That's why I wasn't in a rush to go get our website back. It's a lot of stuff I just let go. Because I realized, yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's why I used to tell y'all, we ain't going to say certain stuff on here. Because I don't want them folks, I don't need them at my door. But they already been in my house. Several times, not just one. And this I know. Hello. I'm trying to tell you, it be real crazy. Ain't that wild? The blood of Jesus. But again, this is why I used to say the things I used to say to y'all. When I said, listen, it ain't only going to make them come to my door. It'll make them come to your door too. Not just me, because you have the information that I have as well. It's not just me. Right? Now, who watched A Thief in the Night? If you watched A Thief in the Night, thank you. You did, Bell Bell. Anybody else? Give me 1 second and I will. Give me 1 second because I found the video and y'all know. Okay, good. Just give me 1 second, Jazz, and I'll tell you. Hold on. Y'all ready for this? Under President Trump, the United States will stand with the Jewish people. We have implemented a vigorous new visa policy that will prevent foreign nationals from coming to the United States to foment hatred against our Jewish community. We are holding international organizations and nations accountable for rhetoric against Israel that resurfaces in the manifesto of monsters like Iran and Sarah's killer. But we do see an eventual light at the end of this long tunnel of suffering. One can imagine a Middle East in which the Abraham Accords eventually reign. So thank you for the opportunity to address you. First and foremost. There you go, Pumpkin. DP Reactions is the guy that reposted it. You seen that? You heard that. You felt that? Did y'all feel that? No? Huh? In real time, though. Because we know that the AC is coming out of where? Where's he coming from? Tell me. Where's the AC gonna? Israel. And you can't speak against Israel right now. Which means you won't be able to speak against the Antichrist. Can I show y'all one more video? And tell me if it's on par for what we studied? I want to say rest in peace to Joe. Huh? One more.
Israel just destroyed an ancient Christian castle today. So they're trying to hide this from all of you guys because they're scared the Christians are going to find out and have a big problem with what Israel's doing. But Israel just used 700 tons of explosives to blow up the Beaufort Castle. This is a really big deal, guys. This is the exact same castle that the Christian Crusaders had control over for many years. Then later on, Saladin gained control over it and it was passed on to the Ottoman Empire and then later gifted back to the Christians. This castle represents a piece of Christian and Muslim Muslim unity, and Israel does not like that. Not only that, it is just a piece of religious history. This is not something that needs to be blown up. Now, of course, they said, oh, there's Hezbollah tunnels underneath the area, but there's a catch to it. Israel has had control over the castle for quite some time now. There was no Hezbollah in the area whatsoever, so even if there was tunnels under the castle, which I know there wasn't because the people who used to have control over it don't want to damage the castle, but there was no Hezbollah there. They are blowing it up to try to get rid of history. By the way, at the exact same time, they hit another church nearby. They blew up another Christian church in Lebanon at the exact same time that they leveled this castle.
What I think they looking for in Lebanon? Why do you think do y'all remember when we did this, when this whole Palestinian, right, right, and Lucifer, them is his brother's kids, remember that, don't forget, that's Lucifer's nieces and nephews, the original inhabitants of that land. You do get that, right? Right. This is all making sense why they backing out of the organization in December, so that we won't know what's really happening over there, to have people believe whatever. Exactly. They tore down some old historic houses in Lebanon too. Now, hi sister. Hi. So a thought came to my mind when, and I said this, and this might have been why I started getting SB'd over on TikTok, because I said something and people didn't they didn't really kind of feel what I was saying, and then some stuff came across social media and it kind of proved what I was feeling. Right? Can we talk about it? Who remembers when Palestine first started getting bombed, and the Palestinians that had money, their nannies were Africans, and they wouldn't give them their passports so that they could leave? Who remembers this? When it wasn't being blockaded just yet, but they started bombing, there were African women with newborn babies that were their nannies that they would not leave, they wouldn't let leave. They was packing up and leaving. But the Palestinians that they would not give them people, so the mamas was trapped there and they was bombing, and it was newborn babies, it was hot. Do y'all remember this? Okay. There was no sympathy for those African women. None. There was no milk for their babies. They was trapped in blown up houses waiting. They were in the zones where they were bombing, and the Palestinian people did not give them their passports to go home. Some of them died there with their infant babies. Don't forget that. Okay? Remember, we talked about the migration of peoples into lands that were not their own. Right? Because even the people in Palestine are a version of the Arabs that took over Egypt and all of those places. Palestine used to be super black, just like Egypt. It's right across the thing. Okay? With as much as people supposedly hate Muslims, they hate black people even more. Just the color of our skin. Not because of the God we worship, Christian or not. It doesn't matter. No God. We are going to be treated the worst. In every country. And I wonder If the things that are happening on all 7 continents with the people that claim to be the indigenous peoples of those lands is not payback for when they moved into those lands and assumed other people's culture and roles, but treat the originals, the indigenous of Asia. Look what's happening to Asia. Asia getting towed up. Well, what did they do to the indigenous melanated folks of Asia? They pushed them out, burned their lands, burned them out, killed them, all this kind of stuff. And now the same things are happening to the people that did those things to all of the indigenous people on every continent. God is tearing up the places where blood was not considered sacred, and they stole and pushed, because no matter where you go on the continent, they got a group of people that they say have been there longer than them. They just push them out into the thing and nobody can deal with them. And they take their land and do it on every continent. It's funny. Funny how all of this is happening to all of these different sects of people, okay, that claim to be the indigenous part people of this land and that, but there's a darker complected people somewhere on that land that say we've been here before them boats showed up, before they came across the, but they treated the worst. You said what they did now is being done to them. Yes. Yeah. Ukraine, all of these different places, they didn't start out like that. I told y'all that Cherno literally means black. Chernobyl used to mean black god. Chernobyl. And it's crazy because it was a nuclear power plant. Makes sense. It's not one bit of land around the world that you can go and see where the people of color were massacred in numbers. History's erased. Okay? So we are seeing in areas all around the world, certain things are happening. People are like, that's crazy. Is it though? Is it? I don't think it is. I think a lot of the things that are happening right now is God paying people back for the things that they did and continue to do to certain groups of people. It is what it is. It's an ugly way to look at it, but it's the truth. Moving on. Y'all see how they played in people's face. Now we looked at the satyr being, right? The centaur satyr being. And they say that the name of this company is Satres, but it just says Satyrs with 2 S's.
This is new tonight.
Satyrs. They it's wordplay. satire, satyrs. Like the Satyricon. They playing in your face. It says satyrs. Satress. Right. Did you see it? I said, not they tried to give it a fancy name. And it's the same thing, just with extra letters and stuff moved around. It says satyrs. Not satress. God said that those beings would come back at the end times. And folks call me a liar, and now we got stuff like that showing up. I said, well, that's a satyr.
A centaur-style robot is taking the internet by storm.
It looks a little bit nightmarish, especially with some of the shots. The strange-looking bot is actually designed, though, to save lives. It's nearly 7 feet tall and called Three Halves, a superhumanoid.
3 halves. Wonder why it's called 3 halves. Because part of it is one of the old satyrs or centaurs that was here. It's 7 feet tall. Do y'all remember us looking up how tall a baby horse is when it's... And then how tall... Girl. Who remembers this class? That was a couple years ago, too. We did another one. But in the beginning of this, when we were studying about the beings, we looked up how tall from chest to leg a certain type of horse is. We looked up the biggest horses, the smallest horses, how tall they were. Or like 3.5 years, girl. That too. And now they're saying that this machine, they could have made that machine 3 feet tall. Why 7? Do y'all remember us looking up that some horses at the, what's the name, are 7 feet tall at the... Y'all remember this? See, we even thought that that was just random. And the whole time, in 20 and 26, it was going to be real relevant. Come on. They talking about it can use a chainsaw. I'm sure it can use a gun too. I bet you it can use a gun. Sounds like a Jewish satyr. Interesting. Amongst other things. What y'all think about that? Let's finish.
General purpose robot. You can see it had 4 legs, a horse-like body, goat-like head. The company behind it is based in Auburn. The bot's designed to go into wildfire zones and disaster sites.
Legs is a nice way to be pretty stable. It's a lot easier to make it walk compared to a biped because it's just more dynamically stable. It's quite light if you compare it to something like wheels and tracks. So that's where I ended up going with, was the 4 legs.
The Centaur-style robot can even use a chainsaw with its 2 arms, thus the nightmarish, I think, comparisons. The company says it's designed for jobs that are dangerous for humans, including extreme heat, bitter cold, darkness, and other conditions.
If I saw that
All the stuff God said was getting ready to come.
in the woods, oh yeah, terrified. This is
All the stuff that God said is getting ready to come. Heat, bitter cold, and darkness. And disaster. So once they bomb it, if it's anybody, hiding out, they can send that thing in there. They don't got to send soldiers. Got it. The video I seen, they was advertising it as a toy. Wow. Are you serious? This? Girl. Wow. Setter means order in Hebrew. Okay. Disaster cities, my behind, So, to tell you the truth, family, I saw that thing. I'd be ready to run. Of all things, they end up going with something like that. I wouldn't be surprised. Is it weird to see our studies every single day online? I'm serious, y'all. It's scarier that every day our classes get less and less random. I don't care what it's about. We didn't even know where this was going when we first started this. We didn't even know. Well, I ain't gonna say we. I thought I was only gonna be with y'all 6 months. Here we are going on 5 years, and look. Huh? Every single thing we studied, it don't matter what it is. Sometimes you don't want the things to be right. Listen, you said we is cast away's backyardigans. Listen, you said in Sesame Street had a special called Storm come out today for emergency preparedness, giving the puppets flashlights and bottled water. Not Sesame Street telling the kids to get ready. And Sesame Street had a special called Storm come out today for emergency preparedness, giving the puppets flashlights and bottled water. Interesting. Random where? Right, Joy. Definitely like connecting the dots of a bigger, of a big picture of Dad's return. Listen. Whew. You said I'd be expecting something else we talked about. It doesn't surprise me anymore. I know. It still surprised me, sister. I'm not even gonna hold you. All these years, even before I met you. Even before I met y'all. People be like, but I thought you already knew. I did. Knowing and it happening is two different things. Elijah and them knew stuff that didn't happen when they was alive. Right? They saw prophecy, so they knew they was gonna happen. Some of them didn't happen while they was alive. They happened while we was alive. So to see a prophecy, but to also see the prophecy come true, that's a little different. You know? If I'm dead and gone and the prophecy is coming to pass, it's like, oh yeah. but no. I'm living it. That's the scary part. That I gotta live all the spooky stuff that we talked about happening. Now I knew it was gonna happen, but I just didn't know it was gonna happen all at one time and so quickly. Listen. It's crazy. You said, but it's coming fast. Listen. What you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. You said I'm just looking at my wall like, what's next, girl? I've been quiet in the house too because it's a lot happening. Just wait. There's more.
Hi guys, please listen to this. There is a sexually transmitted blood diarrhea that's going around in the UK and it's spreading fast. Now you can also catch this by sharing a public...
This was the 18th. I didn't even hear about this. Maybe y'all did. I can't remember hearing about it.
...places with somebody who has this bacteria. Let me tell you. So this bacteria is called Shigella. It lives in human feces. So if you touch somebody's, and you swallow it by accident, you are finished. Shigella is antibiotic resistant, which means it's going to be very difficult to get rid of it. Now, this is how you catch it. Mainly, it is sexually...
So it's a sexually transmitted disease, a blood disease, but it can come out in a person's feces, and if they don't wash their hands and touch your stuff, your food, whatever, you can get a sexually transmitted disease from your food in public toilets. Does that sound like a plague to you? And it's antibiotic resistant. It's resistant to medicine. It's very hard to get rid of. But y'all want to eat groceries, girl. I won't.
Transmitted, but you can also catch it in public spaces. So let's say if somebody cooks food for you and uses their hands, maybe that has the bacteria, you can catch it. You can find this bacteria in certain surfaces, such as public toilets. And if you also share a home with somebody who may have this bacteria and you're using and sharing the same bathroom. The bacteria stays in certain surfaces for a long time. It even lives in water. You can catch it in rivers, swimming pools, lakes. So these are the...
Okay, I didn't, I guess. I'm sorry, sister. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. Rika said that's the story I sent you. Sorry, I didn't know. I just seen it today. So don't be sad at me. or maybe I don't remember seeing it. I don't know, sister. But I was like, wait, what? Wait a minute. No. That's scary. That's another plague, y'all. Okay. That's another plague. Do y'all realize that? And it has to do with blood and the digestional tract. Do y'all remember when we talked about a lot of the stuff that's about to come up on the earth is because of what people be doing with their bodies? What you use to sin against him, your mouth, your rectum, and stuff. You think that's just coming for no reason? Remember, a lot of times when the food got sick, right after that, the people was real sick. He said it was telling how it would be an infection you could catch from sitting on the toilet. Okay. I'm gonna look, sister. You said it's strong in living water and everything. Oh, okay. Do this feel like plagues is showing up to y'all? All of a sudden, there's all of these STDs that we never heard of showing up. It ain't been, what, 2-3 months since we heard about another STD, something called something, showing up. You said, but Shigella is not a new bacteria? I never heard about it. My parents in the medical field, so we used to hear about germs all the time. I never heard about that. And whether they're new or old, they're spreading is what I'm saying. I'm sure there's bacteria that's been here for years, but I ain't never heard about Shigella being a sexually transmitted disease. I never heard about that. Ever. I'm not saying it ain't been here, but the way that things are coming up, no. Measles is back, and all of how, and it's all of these vaccinations and all of this stuff. No, something's going on. Something's going on, honey. No. Something is happening, and listen, I don't care how long it's been around. I'm trying to tell you, no. God is showing. He's showing people. I'm not playing. You said when I see Ebola was back, I was like, no, man. Right, exactly. How? Exactly. Girl. Legionnaires in the water in New York. All of these worms and pestilence. Bacteria. And wait, what? Could it be because the world became gluttonous and they sexualized food? Because there's fetishes where people are aroused by watching people eat and slurp and all of that kind of stuff. So is that why it's showing up there? Because that's what you were using to sin against God 9 times out of 10, because it's lust and gluttony all in one thing. And now none of our food is good. People don't know what to eat. Think about prior to this, how people were engorging themselves on whole tables of food, one person or 2 people, and it was enough food to probably feed 10. It's going to be hard to do a mukbang if you don't know what you can eat. You said that makes sense. Even the sex teacher uses a banana. Here we go. You said, yeah, never heard of it. Of it, all of this, all of a sudden, it's all coming out. Yep, right, at once. It's pestilence in the earth, right? All these plagues. While Dr. Fauci is on trail pleading the fifth over 100 times. Interesting. I got you. Right. Sex education classes. I got you. I'm looking at the disaster that's happening, and we understand that nothing happens for no reason. So then you have to look at all of the things that God, when people started worshiping animals, God started making the animals get sick. Right? When people started to worship animals, there will be plagues on the animals. If people started to worship the elements, there will be disasters. People start worshiping people, well, God shows humans why they shouldn't worship other humans, because then he lets them be real sick and stuff like that, or tragic accidents, things like this. I saw that he sounded like a recorder pleading the fifth. Listen. If you look at what is happening in our world, it is because of things that have been done here that God did not. He's a just God. Right? So there is some vengeance that God had mercy on certain situations, and people took his kindness and his mercy as a weakness, and now it's like, okay, after give you what you know, y'all not gonna stop, y'all getting worse. It's like you putting your kid on punishment thinking it's gonna change their behavior, and they get off and do something even more crazy. So stricter punishment. Hello. It's the same thing. Until finally you might have to lay down on this bed and take a few of these licks I got for you, because I done tried talking to you, I done tried taking your stuff away, I done tried letting you not go out with your friends and all of this. None of that's working. So now you're going to understand some pain. And hate to say it, the world is experiencing labor pains right now. And the declaration that man made about us standing with them people, and you can't talk against them at all, that we're basically one country with them. You said, well, I thank him for the path over here 3 years ago celebrating the river. It be hard some days. But you get to see the stuff that's going on, you be like, yeah, no, I'll just find a book and read it. Or maybe I'll do a puzzle or learn how to make something. I don't know. Go can some meat or dehydrate a strawberry or two. I don't know. I guess I can find something else to do. It is scary out here. You hear me? Not just for that part, but just people crazy. Everybody want to be around people for what they can get for them, or clout, or oh Lord, it's so scary. I just don't. It's too peoply outside, ain't it? I told y'all was not missing out on nothing. It is too peoply outside. You hear me? It's too many people. It's too much people stuff happening. I'll just stay in here. I'll just stay. Whose birthday did I miss? Whose birthday did I miss? I ain't seen nothing about nobody's birthday. Whose birthday is it? Oh, happy birthday. Why I didn't see that part? Happy birthday. Happy birthday. You said exactly. My house is better. All the things are in here. All the things. Y'all see some more wildfires? Everybody say happy birthday to Dara. Y'all see some more wildfires? More people are losing their homes. But the trees ain't burning. You're welcome, pumpkin. Y'all seen it? But the trees ain't burning, just the houses. It's another wildfire in Florida they just started. And now in Florida, it's another one I just seen in Florida. It's burning acres and acres and acres too. This don't feel like what happened in Palestine to y'all? You said it's crazy here in Washington State. This don't feel like what happened to uh Palestine? That's what I said. How the trees not burning, but the houses are. It's a lot of dew out here. Do y'all be seeing the dew in the morning? Maybe all of our grandmas that had blue tarps on top of their houses wasn't tripping after all. If you don't know what dew is, don't say it here. Just go look it up. And it just be dew everywhere. All over the place. There was a lot of dew in Hawaii. There's a lot of dew in Canada. There's a lot of dew in America right now. There's a lot of dew all over the place. You said the smoke is so thick it's cold at night. Wow. You said yes, if I get up early, my grass be covered. Go look up the places I named and then just type in dew after it. Do not say what you find, just think about it. Okay? Look up Canada. Look up any place where there's been fires in the last year and a half, and then put dew behind it and tell me what you see. Don't tell me what you see. Just say yes, I seen it. Just say yes, I seen it. Okay. Put Hawaii, dew. Canada, dew. Cali, dew. Okay. But like the kind that you put out that's on a leaf and stuff. Just that kind. Not D-O. Or D-U-E. The other kind. What you see? Well, just say yes, you seen it. Yes, you seen it. Just say yes. Don't tell me what you saw. Just say yes if you seen it. Might take you a little looking for it. You just sent what to Gmail? Don't send it to me, girl. No. No. Just see it. Don't send it. No. I just told you. That's why I said just know. Now you know when I got on here they was messing with my stuff. It's a lot of stuff I can't get into. Don't do that. I just need you to know. Huh? Is it interesting? Huh? You see it? Girl. Yep. That's why they be playing in our face. Mm-hmm. You said in Mountain Dew new flavor bottles coincide with these events over the years. The newest one looks like orange smoke. Interesting. That's interesting. Very. Y'all, since I to the A came, you're gonna have to be very careful about what you send. Okay? Do you hear me? Do you remember when we talked about that? Yeah. You said the way I want to choke somebody. Do y'all remember us talking about that? Very careful. Let me see if I can find a video talking about that exact thing that I looked at recently. I said, well, this is not that yet, but I'm sure some of y'all seen this too.
For the first time ever, it begins. Israel will host the world's first official international Congress of Noahides to install.
And I know we talked about it November, but I don't know if I played the video online. So
Global courts of law, resulting in persecution of all believers. Listen to this. Right now, you can reserve your seat at the Brit Olam Noahide World Center, where you will stand where history begins anew. On November 2nd through the 6th of this year in Jerusalem, they will be focusing on this right here: scattering global Noahide communities into formally structured and unified international movement. You see, it's important for you to understand what the Noahide laws are and why it applies to you, and why your government in Babylon the Great, made great again, has had every single president since Jimmy Carter signed the Noahide laws, including the shining golden boy himself, Donald John Trump, who is recognized by Israel as the champion of Noahide law. You know, the one to carry the torch.
okay, so some of y'all talked about it. We talked about it. Let me ask you a question. If the Antichrist is going to come out of is, why is the church standing with them? If the is people are saying we are collecting data on anybody that is going to be against us in your country right now, and they're saying that their Messiah is here and Jesus ain't cracked the sky, why are churches standing with them? Every leader that says we stand with them, Rika, One Love, you stand? Girl. That, sisters. Why are you doing that? That's who remembers me getting on here in the beginning of this. And I said in the beginning, it's not about the people, it's about the land. Y'all remember I used to say that? And there was a lot of people that gave me a hard time because I said, them is the Romans over there. The Khazars. I was saying that back in 22. Y'all remember this? We supposed to stand with Israel, but not them. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you remember that? I said it a lot. Do you understand now why? 4.5 years later, do you understand why I was saying what I was saying to y'all? That is the synagogue of Satan in real life. But if you don't know, then you just, oh, I know, girl. Okay, I seen it. Right? So there's a lot of uninformed people on the planet, and it sucks because they're gonna wake up at the last minute, if they even get a chance. And by that time, it might be too late because they are being loyal to a human or a group of people or a land that God doesn't even approve of. The God of this world approves. That's why they've been able to get away with it. But the God of all worlds does not. Hey, sister. Isn't that crazy? So there you have all of these pastors that are leading people to worship the Antichrist. And because they will not read for themselves, a lot of people are going to be destroyed. Can you see it with your eyes now? After all that you've read, after all that you've studied, to know the difference. God said his wolves in sheep's clothing now. How is it the most holy people in the world are committing the world's worst atrocities? Make it make sense. Some ain't right. But if you don't know what to look for, right? And you don't choose to learn for yourself and you're just repeating over and over and over what you're hearing, you're going to be held accountable for those words. And see, they worried about being judged by people. But baby, eternity is a long time. But it also makes you think about Cain's kids. You hear me? You said Trump is God, came down in the flash from heaven, making America great again. You mean like the flash of lightning that Lucifer rode down on? Oh, I agree. High five. The flash of lightning, you're right, he did. The spirit that's working in him, absolutely. I agree 100%, Mega. I agree 100%, Mega. We agree on something. Sucks for you, huh, that I'm a black girl, and I agree. He came down in a flash of lightning from heaven, thrown down. You're right, he did. You said I piddle a little girl. You said it, I didn't. I agree 100%. He came down on a flash of lightning, honey. Quickly, too, because God hurls him and his people out of heaven. Oh, yeah, you're right. He did come from heaven, but yeah. You said don't even know the true statement, trying to be funny. Girl, they talk about the makers and how they act. They talk about the makers. You know, they don't like books and all. They don't read them. They just burn them up in their fire so they can kind of sear their meat a little bit with the blood running down their mouths because they're bloodthirsty. You know. They go out there and hunt those old deer and stuff, and then they just take a chunk out of it and eat it just to make sure it's dead and stuff. So you can't expect much from them. They don't even like books. They don't even like them. No, they don't like books at all. You said, I am done. Girl, why is y'all messing with us? Go over there and be mad, Mega. I don't know what you want me to do, but I agree with you. He did come down in a flash of lightning from heaven. And he is worshiping the God of this world. You spoke a right, Mega. Moving on. Anybody else? Sometimes you gotta be petty. You just leave it. Now, what was I talking about before I was rudely interrupted? Anything else? Oh, okay. No, I should probably make some coffee. I love y'all. But do y'all be seeing um right. Now, this is not towards my cousins that I love. Y'all know this. I have to say this. But after studying about Cain's line and Cain unaliving his brother because he wanted the attention that Jesus gave to Abel, do you see that pattern in people right now? And mainly in a specific group of people. You see it. And it doesn't matter if they're in America, if they're in if they're in Europe. It is a running thing right now. And you see it in certain things, like you can't tell us what to say, and you can't tell us how to act, and this is not black culture, and this is not this, and this is not that. You see it. You see it. And I'm not saying all my cousins. I'm saying certain ones, the Cain gene did. See, ours that we have, the Cain gene skipped over them, or it was rooted out by class. One of the two. Okay? I'll just say that. It either skipped over y'all or it was rooted out by class. Because everybody didn't come here loving everybody. Everybody didn't. It's okay. But maybe you learned over time and you saw that it was silly to be and have those thought processes, right? Okay, we just got to be honest about it. Some people got rid of their prejudice here. Because remember in the beginning of this, I said, you cannot not like the people that look like me, but say you love me too and treat them badly. Who remembers this? I said, no matter what other nationality or whatever you are, you can't say you love me in here and then leave out of this class and treat the people, the children, the kids that look like me bad and think that's okay. You better love all of us. Remember? Look at what's happening right now. It's been happening, but look what is on the forefront of what's happening right now. So there's some people that learned to love something that they were not familiar with, and now other people, good night, have been treated fairly because of that. Okay? They might not look at black folks the same, or people of color, period, the same anymore. And I'm not saying it's because of me. I'm saying how God has used me. I know that there's been some lives changed. Okay? But God didn't want us to take part in what's happening right now. That's why. That's why we said we love everybody. We don't care if you're white, black, Asian, Spanish, Latino, Japanese. We don't care. Long as you want to learn. We don't care what God you had before you got here. We don't care if you was racist, if you did magic, if you was in a whatever you're. We don't care. Do you want to learn something else? Do you want to learn about the living God that loves and chastises? Is that enough for you? If that's what you want to do, and you tired of being sad, and you tired of being sick in your mind, you tired of being sick in your body, you tired of being sick in your finances, we got something for you. But everything else is extra. Everything else is extra. Okay? And people have come here of all races, of all nationalities, of all backgrounds, and they have been healed. That's all I'm worried about. They learned a new way to love. Okay? Look at people differently. Learned a lot of things that made them change their perceptions. Not just about God, but about the world in general. Through research and understanding. Okay? God's love, when you get knowledge, then your mind is not so closed. Okay? There's so many things that I've learned about different cultures in here that I had no idea. And it makes me understand the world that much more. Do you hear me? About all the different cultures we've studied, whether it be from books or firsthand experience. Somebody that's living the existence right now. You too, Joy? Yeah, it make you look at the world differently. That's why we not doing no exclusion. Come on in here and tell us how your life is and what you've been and what they do in your culture, because we need to know what to look for. Okay, good. Let me write to make a note of that. So who was you raised to worship? What are the wives' tales and things in your culture, and what part of that was magic? And all of these different things have made us the wiser for knowing. But if we isolated ourselves and said only black people, only white people, only Asians, only this person can come here, I'm only talking to this kind of people, we would not have amassed the amount of information that we got over the last 4.5 years. Period. You have to put all of your biases aside to come here and sit in this class and learn. Period. Can't be, think about all of the things that have come through our classes, the testimonies about people's lives and stuff. How many of you have changed your mind about even sometimes why people's sexuality is the way that it is? And it might have softened your heart, not to certain things, but it helped you understand why certain things are in play. And when people came in here and told us about their childhood and the things that they were exposed to as children, it changes your view of, to Jesus, please. Heal their wound that made certain things, wearing cat ears and all of this stuff. It changed it when you see people and you see that their mind is not right. You're not just calling them crazy. You are praying that God heal whatever it is that allowed that spirit that's making them do whatever it is, to stop. You go into spiritual warfare for that person, where before it might have been let me grab my person. You said definitely me in a lot of areas. Exactly. When we was over there on TikTok today, and people was like, it's real comfortable in here. Because it feel like we at each other's house. That's why we wear pajamas. I just stopped by to get a cup of coffee. I know you done made some. Are you? Wow. That's crazy. That sucks. You said definitely me in a lot of areas. Right. I I wanted this to be a place where we could learn to love. And we done cried and been angry and slammed stuff down. That's a part of being alive. We not dead no more. We feel. Only people that don't feel nothing is dead folks. So yeah, I'm gonna have a moment where I'm angry, disappointed, but it don't have to stay. It's just a moment. That's it. That's all. A moment. And hopefully during this time of us being together, you realize that everything is necessary, the good and the bad, to grow you. You said, I'm happy to have learned how to ask questions differently to get a better understanding without being offensive. Girl. This. I think, right. Come on. You can get to the answer another way, right? But church taught us to be so judgmental that we offended the people before we could ever offer them the medicine that they might need. Hopefully this place has been medicine in the healthcare field with my family and friends. Listen, come on. You said, definitely, listen. And it's nothing that has to be forced. Do you want to learn? I think there are some people on our TikTok earlier today that felt free. Matter of fact, somebody typed it. I feel free in here. It is, what they say, not rejuvenating, refreshing to hear the word taught like this. Somebody said a pastor would never. Right. And I'm not knocking at pastors, but that's why I'm happy that this is school, because we look at how many things. Folks talking about the saliva still got me messed up, and this and this and this. It just makes all the pieces come together. We can study whatever we want to, but we also get a deeper understanding of why certain things happen to people in the Bible, and why certain things are still happening now, and why certain things don't work, and all of these different things is wild. You said everyone became a case. Everybody became a case study 102. Now let me see how we can. All right, Jesus, you ready? I'm not gonna change nothing, but I want to see how you're gonna use me to change this situation, because I can't be around this all the time. What I need to do? Tell me, because you got me here, and I know I can't leave until this assignment is over, and I'm not trying to rush them. But what exactly is, because you got me in this place for a specific. You said WORU is definitely a free feeling zone. Listen. I want people to experience the freedom of loving Christ and learning about him, but not just about him. God created this whole entire earth for us, y'all. So why wouldn't you want to learn as much as you can about it? Every mountain peak, every flower, every tree, every animal, every fruit, vegetable, everything. It was all for us to enjoy. He just didn't want us to love this more than we loved him. Hello. Okay? He didn't want us to start worshiping the things that we have here over him, acknowledging these things and our accomplishments more than him. So I feel like over here, not only do you get to be vulnerable, but it's okay to say you don't know. And I think church doesn't give you that leeway to say I don't understand or I don't know. They expect if you sit in the pews for 3 years that by this time your relationship should be so good with God that the devil can't tempt you. The heck, I'm struggling every day, nigga. With a whole sorts of things. It ain't just with the main things. No, it's other stuff. Trying to keep this mind right, trying to keep these thoughts right, trying not to look at nobody crazy, trying not to cuss folks out and overreact. Oh yeah, it's hard over here. Very difficult. Because the devil ain't gonna quit. He's gonna do something every day to try to get me to get out of line with God's will for my life. Every day. It's not one day that he's not gonna do it. He don't take breaks. He don't. Let me go make me some coffee, y'all. So, again, I want to ask y'all about the whole Cain thing. How y'all feeling about that? Because we didn't touched on this before. But was that an interesting thing to see? Wait a minute, where is his stuff at? And how they just show back up later on in the Bible after not wait. You said, and that's where they go, where they're wrong, because the closer you get, most times it's harder. Definitely learning from the books they took out. Girl, yes, very interesting. Make you think about a lot of what's missing, don't it? It's a whole different dig we gotta go on. Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I like the mysteries. They can keep that what they already know and memorize. I can't memorize it because it's too much information. I can't, and that's why I'm glad God gave me y'all. Hold on, babies. Run to the restroom. Sorry about that. It's very enlightening. You say, yep. Hey. He said, I have to find more information on him. Isn't it crazy how God can drop a seed down in your heart and it like lights a fire, right? And then you get that whole feeling of, where is it at? I need to know where the rest of it is, right? And hopefully all of our classes do that in one way or another. You said, I was very, very, very deceived by the church with Cain and Abel. Not no more. Wow, speechless. Listen. And just with so many other things that we study, y'all. It really has been a journey. So, I couldn't show y'all this earlier. This is the book I was reading out of. Some of y'all might already have it. Don't that look like the Tower of Babel to you? They play with in our face. Now I can show y'all what I was wanting to show y'all. Again. This looks like ancient Mesopotamia. If you look at the maps, yeah. Oh, hold on. If you look at the maps, Lebanon, all of these names, I went on a hunt last night because I was like, I gotta know. Okay, it says Lebanon, right? And then right over there, it's a lot of these names look like the names from, what's the name? And then again, I'm watching House of Dragons, and I'm like, why do all of these people with this white hair that are the kings and the rulers have the names of the people from back in the times when, like this map, everything had an AE in front of it? A lot of it did, right? Even something I seen today, they was talking about a fire or something on Faroe Island, and they spell it Faroe. It was either floods or fire on Faroe Island, but it's Faroe. Well, if the pharaohs ruled over the world exactly like God said, and at one time some of the pharaohs ruled the whole world, which it said, that would make sense as to why the pharaoh would have an island when he took a break from ruling. Yes or no? If Ireland was land and Eric, that's the name that was in there. It's not this one. Or is it? That's Uruk. But there's another book. Which one? No. Oh, which book is it? That it literally says that name. I can't remember just yet. One of them. It was ERECH. One of these books we got. I don't remember which just right now. don't remember. One of them had ERECH on it. So, yeah. Anyway, there's another place where Eric is spelled, or Orok. Hold on. Maybe it's not on his page. Also, y'all remember us studying about Galadriel or Gadariel, and we talked about how they were the same angel? They got his name in here, and they actually show a castle, which makes me think about, here go one of the ones I was doing right here. So, y'all want to see how they play in our face again? Because I couldn't really show it on TikTok, right? And y'all know my spelling and whatever it is. But what if that's Osiris land? Because they play with the words, right? Osir land. And what if that's not an I, it's an L? See it? See how they could play with that? And that's actually Osiris land. The land of the seven rivers. I looked up the land of the seven rivers is India. And I know for a fact that the Egyptians ruled over India for a while. This is Lord of the Rings. The land of the seven rivers is India. And they have a place called Amon Areb. AMONAREB. Do you know how many Arabs have the name Amon? Look how they played in our face. There's a lot of Arab people that have the name Amon. You see that? Instead of spelling Arab ARAB, they spell it EREB. And what if this Gilion River is the Gihon River? Huh? Am I tripping? I'm trying to tell y'all how they play in our face. Baylor, is it ball? Because if you take off the R, it's BALAR. If you take off the R and rearrange the letters, it's Bail. Huh? There's also another name in here that looks like it could be Saramis changed around, and it's a woman. Like Ard Galen. Galen could be Ard Gilead. Okay. They also have Gorgoroth. You said, so there's just a blurred line between fantasy and reality. Oh, I know for a fact that these maps are of ancient Mesopotamia and north of Europe. No doubt about it, because I've been looking at the maps and looking at the names, and it's very interesting what I'm finding, because these are definitely the Lebanon mountains, and they have a place called Pelargir. But remember Peleg, Peleg. I think he was one of Noah's great grandsons or something like that, right after the flood, if I'm not mistaken. It's a place in here called Pelargir. I bet you that's something having to do with Peleg. They just moved the names, because remember now, at the Tower of Babel. Remember the Tower of Babel now. Okay? David and them lived after the Tower of Babel, which means that prior to that, there was all these stories, right? They playing, the screen is black on my end. I can hear you though. Go out and come back in. Every time we be on to something. Have y'all noticed? Now when we was doing the cane thing the other day, this was the same thing. And they still got me black? Interesting. Am I black on anybody else's screen? Just type black if I'm black on your screen, and we'll get out of here and come back. It's wild, right? We can't show nothing over here. Starting to feel like tickety top. You're dark, like the lights aren't on, but I can see you. Oh no, the lights is on. Is that better? These lights be hurting my eyes. You had to go out and come back in. Interesting. That just happened to me one day, and I thought you was in the dark almost the whole class, and right before you got off I could see you. That's how your screen is too. It just looks like the lights are off. And the brightness is all the way up. That's interesting. This gonna need some more coffee in it. That's all cream. Interesting. So they don't even want y'all to see a nigga, huh? I told y'all this was gonna happen. We moving on. Well, at least y'all knew. You said no, my screen was black. It was nothing. Got it. So look at this name here. And tell me if you think this could be a version of Ceramis. Right? Arid. Okay. Nimrais. Nimras. Now, I don't know if this is Nimrod or Nimras. I mean, but I think it's more of Ceramis, because when I read it, it was saying it was a woman. Okay. You see this? But this ER is what gives it away every time. Because you have to think about it. Maybe it was Nimrud, the city. See? Uruk, Akkad, Asher. All of these names in the different provinces, when you go and you're looking through Middle Earth is the Middle East. Seramis is the Garden of Babylon. Exactly. And you see how they played with that? They just changed a few letters around. I feel like I'm missing a book, or I'm just not looking in the right place. I feel like something is missing, but I just don't know what. It's something that is not right here in my face. We'll just use this. Maybe it just don't got the top on it no more. Maybe we're seeing it from a different side. Huh. It's another book, and I don't know where it is. It has... I just don't remember which one right now. It's okay. It'll come to me. Thank you, Dad. I know it's the Ancient Civilizations book. So, again. No. I'm just gonna leave it. Talk about that another day, but that is wild. Oh, there go one. I need my... Don't this kind of look like what David built? This kind of looks like Jerusalem. Remember the tower that got knocked down? Remember we read about that? If you go look at older pictures of Jerusalem, when David and Solomon was there, it looks like this. I think it might look like that now in some places. See how this is built? Remember we studied this. This is how Jerusalem used to look. If it don't still look like this in places. It's in rows. And at the top, the Temple Mount. But remember, David, when he was fighting the war, he had 3 towers built. Remember we studied that? Y'all remember? Hmm? I feel like you said, I don't recall. I might have missed that class. It's okay. We got a whole bunch of them. I cannot remember where what book Eric is in, and it's spelled like that, and it's gonna drive me until I can remember it. I cannot remember the class. I mean, not the class, the book that it's in, and it's spelled ERE because we literally did this. I just don't remember which one of these books has it listed in that same name, like the way that that's spelled. Y'all. Okay. Yeah. Y'all ready? Okay. We just talked about this. I don't even think to get this book. Y'all see that? Just hold on. This. This one right there. This. Y'all see it? Togama or Togamar. Watch this. When I say they be playing in our face. And I marked it because I'm like, that looks like. Oh, do me a favor. Is Golem Heights near Mount Moriah while I'm looking for this? I know y'all think I'm all over the place, but just bear with me. Is Golem Heights near Mount Moriah? Oh, Dad, please let me find it. I'm going to show this. It's a couple different things. Is Golem Heights near Mount Moriah? Or in the vicinity? Yes? No? Maybe so? Is it in the same area of the world? Is y'all asleep? Or is y'all looking? Y'all not sleep? I don't know what y'all saying no to. So Mount Moriah and Golem Heights. Golem. It's a wordplay. They changed a few letters. Golem Heights, same thing. Okay. Sorry, Golan. They changed the name of it. It used to be Golem. That's why they call anybody that's not a Hebrew. It's Jerusalem. It's close. So Mount Moriah and Golan, Heights, located in different 100 to 100 miles apart. Interesting. So they're not in the same region. 100 miles ain't nothing. They are in the same space. Right? 100 miles is not that far. You can get 100 miles in an hour and 10 minutes in a car. Easily. Right? You're going 60, 70 miles an hour. So, hour and 10 minutes. It's not far. Right? Golden Heights and Mount Moriah. Why do they have that in here? If this is not real and it's not the Middle East, tell me why you see that right there. See that? Golem to Moriah. You mean Golem Heights to Mount Moriah? And it tells you the date they went there first, in 3018 BCE. Ain't that crazy? How did they know the dwarves and stuff was going from Golden Heights to Mount Moriah in 3018? Now, what I wanted to tell y'all is, but I couldn't show y'all on TikTok, my plan in the next couple weeks is to get in here. I'm going to show you why. And get this out. Because this is going to tell me about the people that was living in 3018 BCE. You said the distance, straight line distance between them is about 91 miles. So why would Lord of the Rings, Mount Moriah, located in Jerusalem, temple associated with Abraham, Isaac, and Golan Heights in northern Israel? Is y'all looking at this? In the Bible, the region of the Golan Heights was primarily known as Bashan, where the giants were. And it's also contained specific biblical town named Golan. Look. So y'all get where I'm at now. Okay. Bashan. They playing in our face, y'all. Look at this. They're showing you a route from Golem to Moriah. This whole thing is about the Golem. You mean the giants? You see, I put Bag In. I think what they call Bag In is Baghdad. Are y'all seeing this? Look. Bag In. And you see I put Baghdad. But Moriah, Golem to Moriah. And it shows a straight shot of getting up there. And it's a mountainous region. I mean, am I stretching or what? Because if Cain's line was living during this time, y'all think they wasn't Tell me if I'm tripping. Y'all can tell me. I won't be sad. Anon and Amun, right? Anon is a name we know from the Bible. Or Anon, right? Ammon, Ammon, and Anun. Or Anon. We know these names from the Bible, right? And we know that they were key figures in a lot of the stuff that was going on during biblical times. Well, look at that. There's a name in here I think they play with us, and they call it Gilead, and I believe it's Goliath. Hold on. There's another. Look, meeting with the golem. The golem were the giants. Look, meeting with the golem. The dead marshes. What if that's the Dead Sea? See this? Meeting with the golem. Dead marshes. What if the dead marshes is the Dead Sea? And we know, you said December 1981, Israel unilaterally annexed the Golan Heights, but the international consensus continues to view the Golan Heights as a part of Syria. The United States became an outlier in 2019 when it, here we go. I'm trying to tell y'all, they played in our face with Lord of the Rings, but I told y'all that it was, what's the name? Look. Eridu, right? Eridu, you see it, Eridu, right? Eridu, right there. Ready? What that say? You see it? You see it? How is it, girl? Dager lad, like Dagon land. And we know that the land of the Philistines, they worship Dagon or Dagon. Interesting. They got something called Dagerland right close to Eriador. See it? Dagorlad, Dagerlad, like Dagon land, like the Philistines that's right close to Eriador. All of these is the same people. You see it? Huh? Right next to Eriador. You said, so they use the, they've been put the R's and the ER. Right. I told y'all Lord of the Rings was biblical. Sauron. We found another name for that in the Bible. There was somebody going that also went by Sauron, the great magician. If you look wherever Sauron's thinking, it looked just like how the Phoenicians and different people used to build the circle around. It's the Phoenician stuff. How they built the big walls with the thing in the middle of it, not necessarily an obelisk, but kind of like that. And then if you look at the old ancient African cities that they built, they were all circles with the same thing. And Israel controls the majority of the Golan Heights today. Interesting. So who think they've been playing with us? Lord of the Rings, Solomon. It makes sense. Well, I told y'all this. Because Solomon was the Lord of the Rings. And then all the magicians were trying to go against him from all the different nations to try to get the power that he had. Y'all, the Lord of the Rings is about Solomon and ancient Mesopotamia. And they play in our face because they move the names around, and they show us that it was in London or in this or that. But we already know that. Oh, I didn't bring it over here. Oh, this. Ireland was the land of the Chaldees. Or the Chaldees. So if Ireland used to be Ireland, and the Lord of the Rings was shot in land, doesn't it make sense that the people from that were controlling the world, would build things on the places that they were at? They showed us Ireland, but we're really reading about Ireland and the Chaldeans. We know they did magic. They had old ancient magic. I was about to say maggots. Magic. Okay? Crazy, right? How all of the names line up with what they call Middle Earth is ancient Mesopotamia. And all of the names are very similar. The mountainous regions are the same and everything. Yeah. You said Daggerland is a large barren plain in J.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, known as the Battle Plain. Like where the giants was battling the 7 kingdoms, the 7 kings. Come on, y'all. Where and it was dragons, and it was all these different type of otherworldly beings that met in this plane to fight. You mean like this? You mean like this right here? Children of Cain? Remember, they were going up against Nimrod and the other giants, all of the races of giants in here. And they prayed to the Dark Ones. The Dark Ones gave them their power. Remember, they prayed to Baal and all of them, and it was real. And remember, girl. I said, not you been giving us all the pieces. Might want to go back to this if you can get your hands on that. And then even that book I just showed y'all, some of these lands and ancient Mesopotamian cities, Iran, all of this, and these people that we have here, if you have these, right, it's all in here too. And then this is a good one to get as well, because it's the migration of where the people went after the flood. You need all of these books to understand. And don't forget, we know they was moving around because we got this one right here. Right? The Ohio Valley Giants, remember? Mediterranean Amorite copper traders in the Valley of Ohio. Don't forget. Mediterranean. Go look at the first thing on this book. It should make some sense about it. Because if they made it here, we know they made it to Ireland. Huh? The kings of ancient Mesopotamia, the red-haired giants, and the like with the extra rows of teeth and stuff. Hello. Because we know for a fact they're in the Ohio Valley. And their mounds are there as well. I'm just saying. Yes, Mr. Hardy. You see it, Isabel. Is y'all feet digging in the carpets or no? Funny because a lot of church people be telling you not to watch that kind of stuff either. Hello. Is that crazy or no? It's where the rest of the information is. They hid it under mythology. But you know what I just saw? In the book that I just picked up. We know that Joktan or Joktan is in this book, or Jotun. We know that was giants. Now this is Ireland or Ireland, of the Chaldees or the Chaldeans, right? Jotun. That book I just picked up, the Norse book, got Jotun and Joktan in it as well. You know what other book has them in there? The Og book. They be spelling his name different. We know that. Right? He was the upper giant world. Joktan, Jotun. We know for a fact he was a giant. Right? Where'd it go? Hold on, y'all. And they were in Erd. They are. And they were in Erd. Here. Erd. By Mimir. Which we know is the tree that Abraham sat by and talked to Lord. Right? Jotun right there. And they spell his name a couple different ways. So, Joktan is in Norse mythology. He's in Ireland or Ireland. He's in their history, which is of the Chaldeans. And then he's also in our giant book that I just put down. Somewhere. Did I put it back? There we go. They Jotun from the cold lands, like the Celtic areas, like Ireland and Europe. And this is the book of Og now. And we know Og really lived. So if Jotun lived in Celtic or Norse mythology, He lived in ancient Mesopotamian, and then I go over here, and he's in Ur 2. Is it mythology? And he's in the Bible. Is it mythology? If all they got to do is add Heim to the end of it, Heim or Hiem, but it's still the same name, and they lived in Erd of the Chaldean. Y'all just synced it. You just synced it with your own eyes. Look now. Erd. They lived in Erd. U-R-D. Erd. Where Mamir is. Where, look. They lived in Erd. Right? U-R-D. The Nephilim. And see how they spell Nephilim in here? Look now. There go the Nephilim right there. Right? We know the Nephilim lived in Ur. And Jotan was fighting with Og, who lived close to there as well. Men of old, men of renown. Okay? Interesting, right? Because we know Nimrod and them lived in Ur. That's who started it. It's ancient Iran. Where's our other book? What did I do with it? There you go. You mean this Ur? We know that Nineveh, Erd, Uruk, and Eridu, but they got Eridur. Hello. So people that's been watching The Lord of the Rings all this time didn't even realize they was reading and watching Bible stories. We got The Lord of the Ring and Hobbit up there. See how they play in our face? It's all the same stories, all the same people, but because they change the color or add a little bit or take it away, because Uruk is Eric, E-R-E-C-H. And I can't remember where else I seen it. But again, looking at this map, I'm like, Middle Earth is ancient Mesopotamia. And now we got Jotun from the Cold Lands, and they got Jotun right here in Norse mythology, and we know that that's from the Cold Lands, the Vikings. Y'all. Yeah. And in Lord of the Rings, they have a tree that's the name is similar to Mimir or Mamir. You know, in our Bible it's M-A-M-R-E, I believe. In there it's M-I-R or Miramar, however they say it. And then there's one in Lord of the Rings as well. You said, sis, you be asking us, but how do you feel about having connections with the receipts? Girl, it blows my mind every time. That's why I like sharing them with y'all. Because everybody else would be like, but y'all know. That's why I said the pieces be piecing. Because that's the newest book to our library, that Middle Earth book. And I'm like, this look like the mountains I've been looking at. If you go look at one of your old Bibles, they got the maps in there, and get that book. Okay? If you get that Middle Earth maps, okay? And then even if you have any of the older books that not the older books, but the other books that we have about the maps, about the ancient sites and stuff like that, the World Atlas, all of those, yeah, I think you're going to see something. You said, I'm side to side, cheesing and rocking. Girl, because they play in our face. They have played in our face over and over and over and over and over again. Middle Earth, I'm going to get it. I'm trying to tell you. You said, I know I'm really through a mobile game. I play an anime with most of what you mentioned. See, I didn't even know. See? Ain't that crazy? Yeah. So that's why it's important that we read all of this, because it literally, what if all of the other wars and stuff are hid in the mythology? Cain's kids. Because think about it, all the mythology is about who? The mythological gods and the beings. You mean Cain's line? He's the one that started the miscegenation and the mixing of the animals. It makes sense. They hid Cain's line in mythology. Literally. In most mythology, they don't show us black folks. And that's why they are, you said, and that's why they are the word mythology, so you don't go looking for what's real. Exactly. Exactly. You just look at it as a fairy tale. I'll be right back. But as y'all can see, them names is adding up, honey. Because what if, like, Mordor is like, I'm sure we'll find a name in there, right? We'll find a name in there that looks similar. I don't know. Go out and come back in, Mr. Hardy. You said, listen, time to go deeper into into the ground with a shovel. You said so. Jotun was a Viking giant. No, I don't think so. Maybe, but the original Vikings were not the Vikings that we know them to be today. If you have this book, high and low, in between we go. Come on. I don't know, Mr. Hardy. I don't know what they doing. What I was thinking about when I was watching Game of Thrones, did the Targaryens come from Togomar? That's what I was thinking about. But there's a thing on there too, something similar to Togomar, or however you say it. But I was wondering if that's where the Targaryens came from. Because I told y'all, if you look at the Game of Thrones map, it's the Red Sea and the Dead Sea and the Black Sea. They show you the waters and the landscapes and everything. This is all the same story, y'all. Literally all the same story. And they've been selling it to us in a million versions, but it makes sense if these people lived, because think about it, the Tower of Babel wasn't too long. It was only a couple of generations after the flood. So prior to that, everybody had the same stories. So this is why in Norse mythology they have a Mamre, Mamre. Thank you, Auntie, for sending us this book where God came down, because it's a part of this. And the Tartarians, right? Targaryens could have been the Tartarians. We don't know. But remember this, and remember, Mamre, you said, let me go. They didn't cut my audio. Are you serious? So they cut your audio. They was not letting Mr. Hardy see. They do not want us talking about none of this. See this? This Israel, right? See how the buildings and stuff is built? If I open up that Middle Earth book, they got some stuff in here that look just like this. No joke. Look. Mamre, right? The hill country. See, this is all mountainous region. That's what we just looked at. Look. Mamre, right? You don't have this book where God came down? Auntie sent it to me. Now, we did this already, but let's look at it again. So Jotun and the Nephilim and were all in this book, right? See it? Mimir. They just changed the letters. And it's the tree. See? So they spell it Mimir. Mimir. And in the Bible, it's Mamre. See? And Now, it's one other thing. Where is it? Ain't that crazy? No? Am I reaching? Because they got a Jotun in here. They got a Jotun in Og. They got a Mimir in the Bible and a Mimir in here. And I'm sure if I go looking for the tree, probably the one that was at where the elves was, that might be the tree of Mimir or Mimir for Lord of the Rings. The same tree of life. Ain't that crazy? It's all biblical. Right? Do y'all see it? So in Lord of the Rings, they were actually, but I knew something was up because in my Lord of the Rings coloring book, take that back. Let me grab it. Excuse me. If you look at ancient Africa, this is the stuff they used to build. And this is how their cities looked. You said Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings. The series has similar stories. Right. Right. But did he really write it? Or she? Or is it just an ancient manuscript that they took? Because how do we know that they wrote it? How do we know that it's not just one of the ancient manuscripts? That's what I keep thinking. The silent watchers that were never supposed to interact with the humans. I feel it's more so ancient manuscripts or historical documents they came upon and read. I feel like that all day. Just like you said. Oh, Baradad door. Maybe that's Baghdad or the beginnings of it. Because remember where Baghdad was, it was giants building stuff like this, towers. So it just makes you think about them just playing with the names, y'all. And that's it. They had the silent watchers. It was something else in here. The Golden Hall. Because what if the Lord of the Rings, right, was the time right after the flood? Or when David was living? Like the Tower of Babel. Exactly. 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 And we know for a fact from reading about Simon, he was able to do magic. And that was during the time of the disciples. A place called Erebor at the base of a mountain. Don't this look like the Christian Crusader people? The Knights Templar? Or no? There's a lion on there. This could be the lion-headed men of Judah, but they just put a lion on their thing instead of whatever else. Belgos, could this be one of the temples of Baal? Seeing as how the god is falling down, the statue. This is called Belgos. But they spell it Bele. And we know who worshipped Baal, giants. Looks like a Crusaders, a European. That's okay. I know. Gotta see the bigger picture, Mr. Hardy. The temple had a road directly connected to that temple had a road directly connected to a volcano. Interesting. Interesting. I'm not gonna keep y'all said 1.5 hours or 2, and we just made it to 2. I figured y'all got some digging to do or some movies to watch. Remember the story of the trees that the angels cut down that couldn't reach heaven? Didn't trees get chopped down in Lord of the Rings? Yes, they did. And the trees was alive too. I literally just looked at a picture. It shows that the trees used to be people. I didn't finish coloring this one, but you see he got locks. And we talked about petrified trees and how they be having faces, and some of they stuff look like hair. And it literally says the awakening of men. Now that makes me a little nervous, right? Because the walking trees, but also it looks like there are bodies intertwined with the trees that look like they used to be human. Like the trees we see that have blood running down them now. And it's literally the awakening of men. This is what they call that. Now, I didn't get to finish. but you see it. So hopefully that give y'all some stuff to go play around with this evening. I'm about to get off of here. I'm gonna probably just lay down. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I wanted to share that with y'all because I couldn't really show y'all none of the books and stuff when we was on TikTok earlier. But it's just crazy how them names is running together, honey. And if you know that Ireland used to be Ireland, and now I saw that Faroe Island, and they spell it Faroe. I'm like, that's Pharaoh. They just changed it from Pharoh, or however you spell it. They changed it from that. Okay? But if you be looking at these places and the names and stuff, and you understand that people came and conquered, that's why this book, the maps of the wars, the battle maps, that starts all the way back at the Hittites. Remember? It all makes sense now. Like the women entangled their locks with them in the raw. Huh? What you mean? In the war? What war? See? The clash of empires, the Hittites and Ramses. This is the first war that they mentioned in this book, before 1000 CE. Okay? The War of Kadesh. We studied that, where the Hittites came and they was fighting against them. We looked at the pictures of the chariot warfare. But if you go and you look at these names, I'm telling you, you're going to see something. These maps. And it's showing how they was on boats. It says the main Persian fleet looks out for the Greek ships trying to escape. This was before 1000 CE, when the Corinthians and the Athenians were going against the Persians. So this is why these are important books to have, because then when you go and you're watching Lord of the Rings and you can kind of look at the maps and the aerial maps that they show you of where they were, it makes a lot of sense. See? Right? This is the Mediterranean Sea, and I was looking last night because what I looked at in Middle Earth, it looked just like this. How this is, right? All of this, and then they show the islands and stuff. It lines up, y'all. It do. It lines up. I'm about to show you. Because this is where Sicily is, right? In the Mediterranean Sea. And then if you look, Middle Earth now. Find the one where you can kind of see it. I thought this was Gilgad too. It's Gilgalad, but I think that's Gilgad. And see, look how it, I just want to show y'all real quick. See if I can find it. Again, this book ain't that old, so give me a minute. And some of them I didn't mark Is this it? This ain't it. Maybe this is Eriador. It's one where it shows like a lake or a river or a sea in between. Okay, look. So if this is ancient Mesopotamia, right? Middle Earth. Look at all of this water, and it's called the New Lands. You think that's like where America and stuff is at? Because one of the pictures on here, one of the maps, looks like the skull of Africa. I just don't know exactly where it is just right now. But you know how they say, okay, look. Here it go. No. But we know that's the equator. Okay, so we know this is the equator, right? This is the equator. This is Africa right here. That kind of looks like the skull. Like how Africa is Skull Island. You see it? And they call this the first age. Well, who lived in the first age? We know who lived in the first age. Amen, like Amen Ra, Aman, the land of Amen, or Amun. Why would this be in Lord of the Rings? Tell me. The tunnels of Sirion, the falls of Sirion. Anyway. Here we go. If I'm not mistaken, this should be it. Don't this look like the top of Africa, and then the little space in there where like they can get, I think Cyprus is like in the middle of here, and there's water after the land on both sides, because it's like a closed circle when you go up above Europe. I mean Egypt. I mean Africa. This right here. That's Africa. This is Europe. You see it? It's like a closed off little. Interesting. So, I think we might be on to something. We could be wrong, but lining up the edges of like ancient Mesopotamia, and if you're looking at this and you're looking at the maps, a lot of this stuff lines up, y'all. And I was on it last night. The mountainous regions that are in Iran and Iraq or Iraq, Syria, and then for them to call the land of the seven rivers, India is right there. It ain't that far. It's right all in that area. So, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. to see, you know. But definitely because they have this place called Lebanon, is that's what hit. And then I start looking up all these other names, and they're like derivatives of the names that are already over there. So anyway, I'm about to go, y'all. Y'all got something to go looking at now. If you didn't already have enough stuff, there's another thing you can go kind of researching, looking up the names of ancient Mesopotamia, and then going to Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, looking at the maps and seeing that they've been playing in our face and giving us the Bible, just playing with the names a little bit. So I love y'all. I'm about to go. That's what I wanted to show y'all earlier, but y'all know TikTok be tripping because they was not going to let me pull all these books out and show y'all and show y'all and show y'all. They start hitting me with those restrictions, and don't nobody got no time for that because we can't brainstorm and learn if that's the issue. So I love y'all. Sorry it wasn't Bible, but as you can see, technically it is. And we just didn't know. I mean, we had an inkling, a clue, you know, but yeah, please. So now when you watch Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones or any of those, pay attention to the names of the cities, of the places. If they say they're going north or south, pay attention to the maps because they kind of show you that, right? Yeah. Very interesting to see. I love y'all.